Hi everyone, happy Thursday. My name is Laura Milligan and I am here for my Facebook Live Take Two. I hadn't really planned on doing a Take Two this week, but what I decided to do was to come to you every Thursday during sale-a-bration to showcase some of the sale-a-bration products. And so that is January and February. So look for me on Thursdays. I call it Facebook Live Take Two. My normal day to go live is on Mondays at 1 p.m. So I hope you'll join me there, then, and there as well. But I have some super cute projects that I want to show you today. And so let me switch my phone view around. And if you are there, please leave me a comment so that I know that everyone's connected and that I am in the right place. Technology is not always my friend. So hopefully people are going to be popping on here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and switch my view. And briefly, before I show my projects for today, I wanted to just mention one more time about my New Horizons class to go. Registration for that ends tomorrow. It is such a great class, and I feel like it's something that you may miss when you first look through the catalog. This bundle is amazing. The stamp set and the dies, there are so many great things that you can do with it. And then, of course, as I've said before, the designer paper is really the star of the show. So, okay, I see some people hopping on. Hi, Becky. Hi, Judy. Thanks for joining me. So let me just show you briefly. This is the New Horizons class to go, and included in that is quite a bit of product. You'll get a double bolt of ribbon, pebble enamel shapes, which are these are all brand new products. And then, of course, this amazing designer paper. I feel like you could almost just cut a piece of this and put it on a card front and not need to add anything else and have a beautiful card. You will get 6 different card kits, 6 different ideas. I have them right here. They are beautiful cards, and then you will need the bundle for the class, so that is an add-on, and I let you add it on at catalog price, which saves you a little bit of money, so that's good. But registration ends tomorrow, so if you are interested, I will post a link at the end when I'm done with my Facebook Live today, and you can click on that or just email me at laura@lauramilligan.com, and I will be happy to send you information on it. But tomorrow is the deadline, so don't miss out on this gorgeous, gorgeous class. Okay, so there's some other people. Hi, Myra. Hi, Terry. How are you? Okay, so I thought what I would do. Well, first let me show you what I made on Monday. I did 2 Valentines, and these use the Sweet Conversation bundle, which is in our mini catalog. And so I will be drawing names on Monday when I go live, and I will pick 2 people that have commented or shared either today's post or Monday's Facebook, and one of those people will get these sent to them, and you can reuse them. I don't sign them or anything. You can send those to your friends. So today I have actually 2 products that I'm showcasing. One is the Simply Marvelous paper from the sale-a-bration brochure. And then I'm going to do 2 more projects with the awesome Otters, because I did do something with those last week and everybody seems to really love these. And I had a couple ideas. I thought I would just share those. But sale-a-bration runs January and February this year. And so there are different levels of free products that you can get. What I'm showing you today are both free with a $50 product purchase. And I will be putting an order in tomorrow, so if you see something you like, if you have some things on your wish list, you can just email me and I'd be happy to help you out with your order. Or, of course, you can always do an online order. So let's get started. So my first project, and I know you all said you like to see what I'm making before I start so that you kind of know what we're going towards. So this is the first card that I'm going to make, and it says, "It's birthday time." And isn't he just cute? So cute. So this is Highland Heather. It's the card base. It's cut 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a panel, and I have used the Stitch with Whimsy dies. Let me show you those. I love these, and They come in all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 different dies, and they just add interest. It's just stitching. I don't know if you can see that. Let me hold that up. See the stitching, and it's just whimsical. I guess that's why it's called Touch with Whimsy, right? So it just adds some interest to this plain white panel. So I am going to start by just stamping some of the birthday hats onto this background piece. And some I'm going to go off the edge, and I'm just going to kind of turn it in different directions and just fill in some of the edges because my focal point is going to take up that center part, so I don't need to stamp there. Okay, and I think I'll put one more just about right there, so that's pretty easy to do. Then I am going to take this little piece, and I use the Stitch with Whimsy die on this one as well. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp my otter. Who knew otters could be so cute, right? And that otters needed birthday hats and that sort of thing. So there she is, looking awfully cute. And I'm going to take, while I'm stamping, I'm going to go ahead and just finish up my stamping. I'm going to take the word set. You know, let me bring this whole set in so you can see it. I'm going to use It's Birthday Time, and this is the otter that I'm using, and there's her little birthday hat. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp my words. It's birthday time. This looks kind of crooked. Let's see if I can fix that. I think I'll be okay regardless because I'm going to cut this apart, and that looks pretty straight. All right, so that, and then I need to stamp a hat, and I'm going to color my hat. So I'm just going to stamp that on there like that. All right, so I'm done with my ink. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Blends. I'll set this aside for a minute. I'm going to add some color to my otter and to my hat, to her hat. So for this otter, I am using gray granite, and I am going to start with the dark. And you know, these come with 2 tips, the brush tip and the bullet point. I always use the bullet point. I know a lot of people like this brush tip, but for me, I just feel like I have more control. And so I'm starting with the dark, and I'm just kind of going anywhere that I think there would be a shadow, like maybe the side of his little tummy here, anywhere that there are like dark lines on the actual image, like there and there, maybe inside where his leg is there. Just going to add a little bit of dark. And then I'm going to bring in the light gray granite. And again, I'm going to use just this little bullet point. I could use the bigger one. It would probably make it go faster, but I enjoy coloring these, so I don't mind that it takes a little bit longer. And I'm just going to blend my light with the dark, just sort of by coloring over those darker lines. Do you all like to color? I know some people don't. I find it very relaxing. I know a lot of people like those adult coloring books and that sort of thing. Okay, so I'm just sort of going around and just blending it a little bit. Okay, and I like how that looks. I think that's pretty cute. Okay, and then I'm going to do a petal pink. This is dark petal pink. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use light petal pink. Yeah, and I'm just going to color her tummy with this and her nose. I'm just going to sort of blend that. And you know what? I think I will bring in a little bit of dark. I'll make her nose a little bit darker there. Okay. And then I'm going to take my color lifter and just soften this up a little bit. Soften that line. And it just helps add a little bit of contrast. Okay. And I just keep going until I like what it looks like. And that looks pretty good. So I'm going to stop there. Then I'm going to color her hat. And so for that, I am going to use, this is Dark Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to go ahead and just do her hat. And then I actually have one that I've already cut out just to save a little bit of time. I assume you all know how to cut things out, so. It's a cute little hat. I'm making it in Flirty Flamingo and then Dark Highland Heather. Whoops. So I just color in the pom-pom and these little polka dots. Looks like a fun party hat. Okay, so there's the party hat. And I do have, like I said, I do have one here that I've already cut out, so that's ready to go. Yes, I love the blends, Myra. I agree. They're super nice. Super, super nice. Okay, so we have that. And then I'm going to take my words and just take my paper snips. And I'm going to trim close to this. And then I'm going to cut each word apart and I'll just attach them. Just kind of scatter them on that this little panel. All right. So now we're ready to put the card together. So I'm going to take my Highland Heather base, and next I will add my little Stitched with Whimsy panel. So I'm going to use my Tombow glue. And I don't know, let me see. Well, you know what? I always keep a straight pin here and just put that in the end there to make sure that it's going to flow. So I'm just going to attach this. I love the Otters. I think they just make you smile. It's just one of those things that just make you smile, right? Okay, then I'm going to take, this is where this Simply Marvelous paper comes in. I'm just going to put that on the front, and I do have the full pack here. Let me pull this down a little bit. So one side is like a marbled look, really, really pretty colors, and then the other side, it's a much bolder pattern, and to me it looks like flowing water, that sort of thing, in all these different colors. We used to have we have a technique in stamping called the shaving cream technique, and we used to create this look with shaving cream, and that's what that side of the paper reminds me of. Okay, so I'm going to attach my purple. See, here's the other side. Either one of these would work for this card. Put that about right there. Like that. And then I'm going to attach my twine, and this is from the, I think it's called Playful Pals. It's this black and white twine, and then there's a stitched red ribbon that goes with it. It's a double combo ribbon, and so I'm going to make a little swirl of this behind this panel. So what I'm going to do is take some Stampin' Seal and just put a little bit of that across the back here, and that's going to help this kind of stay in place. So I'm going to start down here, and you know, there's really no right or wrong to do this. I think you just sort of go with it. And okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm just going to make a little swirly pattern, and then I went over here again like that. And then I'll just snip that off. It looks really good from the back too. You know what it looks like? It looks like a treble clef. I was a music major, so that to me looks like a treble clef. I don't know. Does anyone else see that? Okay, so here is this. Now you can see in my sample, I have it going this way. I just did it the other way, not on purpose. It just happened that way, but I think this will be fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my dimensionals. Pampered Pets. Yes, Judy, thank you. It's really cute. I love anything black and white. I always like, and then with that stitched red ribbon, it's a really great pack of ribbon. So, all right. So I'm going to take these dimensionals. Yeah, it's Pampered Pets ribbon combo pack because when it first came out, we had that adorable dog paper and stamp set. Okay, so I'm just going to put her here now, right on there. And I like this big sort of free-formed swirl. I'll call it my treble clef. Okay, and then I'm just going to take, I've already cut out one of the hats, and so I'm just going to put a little Tombow back of this and put her little hat on. She is ready to go. Then I'm going to take my words and just carefully snip them apart. And I'll just put those on this front here. It's birthday time. Oops. Okay, and we'll put this last one there. It's just going to fit right there. Isn't he cute? I think it's a girl. I don't know. It could be whatever. And then I'm going to use, once again, these new Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. I think I've used these on almost every card I've made since this new catalog came out. I just love these, and I think they go with anything, any kind of card you're making. So I'm just going to add a couple of these. They just add a little bit of sparkle. Put one there. And I'll put one there, and then I put one over at the side. They come in 3 different sizes. And of course, I always have to use my Take Your Pick tool. Okay, so there is my card front, and then I have a panel that I'm going to adhere to the center. So there is my cute little card, and I want to show you when I was making my sample, let me show you what I did on the inside. I just had her popping up with her birthday hat on, and just so super cute. So that is card number 1 for today. I hope you like it. Show me some love. You know what I love? Give me some hearts. Give me some thumbs up. That always makes me feel good when I see those thumbs up and hearts coming through. So thank you for those. Okay, my next card is pretty fun. It is a matchbook card. So let me pull the parts and pieces. This also features that Marvelous paper and the Otters set. So I have all these parts and pieces ready to go. And this is kind of I had fun making this card. So what I did was I started with a card base. Well, here, let me show you the finished one. So here's the finished one. And Becky says maybe add some gray shadow below the otter so it doesn't look like it's floating. Sure, I could do that. But so this is a matchbook card. So it opens up just like a matchbook would with matches in it, but there's no matches here. So that, I just want to show you how to make this. I thought this was really fun. All right, so this is my card base, and you can see it's like the bottom flap is like a matchbox, I guess you would say. And hi, Linda, how are you? I didn't know you were watching. Linda's an animal lover, so I'm sure she loves all these cute little otters. So I'm just going to start by stapling this as you would a matchbox, right? Matchbook, I guess I should say. All right. So then I'm going to take a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock, and that's going to stick, that's just going to go right down here like this. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that on next. And I'm going to push that down as far as I can. All right, so that's going to be there like that. And then this part is where I'm going to put my little flip front. So this piece is cut. This is a piece of that Mini Marvelous, or Simply Marvelous, I'm sorry, Simply Marvelous paper. And this time I'm using this more bold side because it made me think of water. So I took a piece of this, and this measures 3 3/4 inches by 5.5, and I have scored it at 1 inch. So what I'm going to do is fold on my score line like this. And when I had this piece, I used the layering diorama dies, and it was this one here. And so I just positioned that and cut that out, and it kind of goes along with that swirling look of the water. Okay, so what you'll do then is just take this little flap, and this is going to be adhered to the back of this white piece. It's going to go down here like this, like that, and then this part will flip up. So I'm going to go ahead and attach that. It's always fun to do like a fun fold, I think, just to switch things up a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to position this here, and that's going to go just like that. Okay, they're getting things crooked today. Oh well, that's just how it is some days. Okay, so this is going to be attached, but before I do that, I'm going to do some stamping. So I'm going to stamp my otter, and for this one I'm using this sweet little otter holding a fish. And I have lost, I thought I misplaced my black ink. Okay, so this is going to go, and what I want to do for this is position this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. So I stamped her first, and then I'm also going to take, where is my other, here she is. I'm going to take this stamp and just stamp the one with her head popping out of the water. And I have prepped a circle, and I cut it on the edge of a straight piece of cardstock so that I didn't have to cut it today. It was already cut. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp her on there. This is the one that I used last week when I made an otter card too. So I'm going to go ahead and put that there like that. Then I'm just going to add some color. So for this one, and then I'm going to do, you know what, I might as well get all my stamping done now, right? You are utterly awesome. I'm going to put this like this. I'm going to stamp it again because I caught some edges. So let's just go this way. Okay, there we go. And then this is actually going to just be punched out with the oval from the double oval punch. So I'm going to slide that in there, and of course, if you hold it upside down, you can see exactly where you're punching. And now I have an extra scallop one I'll use for another project. Okay. So now I'm going to add some color, and I have already colored one of these and cut that out, but I am going to go ahead now and color this. So let me grab, I used Smoky Slate for this little otter today because I kind of like the Smoky Slate with the blue. I think it's a good combination with the glue. And you know what? Wait, I'm going to use I'm going to start with my dark Smoky Slate. I'm using a lot of different blends today. I love them. Put my ink away so I don't get into trouble, right? Okay, so I'm just going to go right down the side here with my dark Smoky Slate, and up here a little bit. Okay, just a titch right there. I'm going to give her a petal pink nose. I don't think that real otters have petal pink noses, but you know what? That's the fun about stamping, right? We can make things any color we want. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and just fill in the rest of the otter and blend in the light and the dark smoky slate. They're just cute. They're just so, so cute. All right, now I'm going to add some blue. So I am using, this is the light balmy blue and the dark balmy blue. So I'm going to start, I guess, with the dark, and I'm going to fill in the droplets, make those dark, and some of the waves here. And this piece is what's going to hold the matchbook down, like the flap of it down. We're going to tuck it right behind there. Okay. All right, and then I'm just going to fill in a little bit with the light, and I am going to use the bigger tip for this. And I'll just color all this bottom part here so it looks like she is just swimming around and popping her head up. Okay, that looks pretty good. All right. So there are my two otters. So now we're going to just put this card together. So I'm just going to take my glue and I will adhere this piece to my card. So I'll go ahead with my Tombow. Hi, Debbie. Glad you could pop in today. Yes, Myra, many of my cards are crooked, as you know, and you know what? I just feel like they're handmade, and we're doing this for fun, and so I don't stress out if my things are not perfectly perfect. I like them to be nice. As long as they're nice, we're good. So I'm going to hold this down a minute, and then this flap is going to go right there like that, and then I should have somewhere... Do I have a little piece? I think I'm missing, you know what, I could go ahead and cut one. I think I'm missing the little strip that goes across here, but actually I think I'll be able to do it. It's probably right here. I'm going to just leave that off. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm going to put this here. I actually think it looks cute like that. This is going to, oh, Debbie, you're sweet. I kind of like it this way without that so that you can see more of this color. So I'm going to go ahead and just adhere it like that. My glue. I'm just going to put glue along the bottom here. And I am covering up the staple. Okay. And then for this otter, what I wanted to do was pop her up. And I stamped her on here first because I wanted to have these lines here so that you could tell she was swimming. So let me grab my dimensionals and I'll go ahead and put her here. That's right, Terry, I agree with your husband. Doesn't have to be perfect. They're handmade and that's part of the joy. Okay, so there we have that. And then I just have my oval shape here and I just took a tiny strip of smoky slate and I'm going to adhere that to the back here of that piece of my punched oval. Just like just a simple little touch of extra color. And that I'm going to position right there. It's going to go right there like that. And then, of course, to finish it up, once again, I'm using my favorite embellishments for right now, this week anyway, the iridescent jewels. And I'm just going to take one of the larger ones. Well, I think I'm going to use the medium size I'll take that off and just put it right there. And there you have this super cute little matchbook. And so this part is what is going to hold this flap down. And I think it's fun, you know, so many times, and I do this too, we make a more traditional card that opens, you know, from the right to the left. And it's just fun to try some different things. So that is my second card for today. And let me bring this other one in. So they both featured the Awesome Otter stamp set, as well as the Simply Marvelous Designer Series paper. And like I said, these are both of those products are free with a qualifying order during sale-a-bration, and that you can get either of these with a $50 product purchase. I am going to be putting an order in tomorrow, so if you are interested and you'd like me to help you place your order, you can email me at laura@lauramilligan.com, or you can shop online. If you go to my blog, you will see a place that says shop, and there's a cute little cart. You just click on that. It will take you to my online store, and I'd be very grateful. So I am going to say goodbye for today. I'm going to hold up these cute little cards so you can see these are what we made today. I hope you like them. I appreciate you watching me as always, and I hope you have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing you on Monday. And just a reminder, my New Horizons class to go, registration ends tomorrow. Don't miss that class. It's a really good one. So again, I hope you have a great weekend. And as always, I hope you have time to be creative today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Take care.